Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We discussed up to beyond the material nature. And who did Narad Muni see beyond the material nature? Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was, when he heard his glorification, he refused to accept his glorification. And one point which is very important, I didn't have the time to mention yesterday, so I will mention it today, so take note of that. You see, when Narad Muni went to Brahma, Brahma actually told Narad Muni that there is no pure devotee in the material nature. In the material nature, all are mixed devotees, Karma Mishra or Jnana Mishra. But Lord Shiva, in course of glorifying the position of a devotee, mentioned that those who are in the material nature but are performing pure devotional service, although apparently they are in the material nature, they are not in the material nature. Now, apparently there is a contradiction, but that has been harmonized by Sanatana Swami and also by Rupa Goswami in Ujjvala Nilamani, that just as iron in contact with fire becomes fire, similarly, those who are performing pure devotional service, even though it may appear that they are on the material nature and they are subjected to the laws of this material nature, but they are actually transcendental. And the example, has been given by Srila Prabhupada also often, that when iron is put in fire, then iron becomes fire. Now you may say, well, but it is still iron. Then our answer will be, then touch it. So, in the same way, the devotees who are free from all material desires, who are free from karma and jnana, they are transcendental to this material nature. Everything, even though they have a material body, but that body is spiritualized. Even though it appears that they are subject to the laws of material nature, but actually that's only an apparent perception. They are not affected by the laws of material nature. So, and then Lord Shiva told Narad Muni that Prahlada is actually the greatest devotee. He pointed out to Prahlada Maharaj, and he gave various reasons. Now, those points have been mentioned here, so I won't repeat them, but I will discuss how great a devotee Prahlada Maharaj is. Prahlada Maharaj, as you all know, from the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, was the son of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was the king of the demons. And at one time, Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities in Mandar mountain to become immortal. Now, these gross materialists, these demoniac people, they actually want to exploit this material nature endlessly. And therefore, they want to become immortal. So Hiranyakashipu when he went to perform austerities in Mandara mountain, the demigods attacked the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu. because they knew that they were afraid of Hiranyakashipu, that this Daityaraj, this king of demons, may attack their kingdom and drive them away from their kingdom. So, taking advantage of Hiranyakashipu's absence, the demigods attacked his kingdom. And they defeated the demons, and then when they saw that Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadhu, was pregnant, then they took her, they arrested her, and they were taking her away with an intention that when the child would be born, they would kill the child. Because they didn't want to trust the son of the king of demons. So at that time Narad Muni appeared, and Narad Muni told Indra to let Kayadhu go. And when Indra insisted that this lady, the queen of Hiranyakashipu, was carrying the son of Daityaraj in her womb, and they wanted to kill the child as soon as he was born, then Narad Muni consoled and assured Indra that this child although was the son of Hiranyakashipu, but he was actually a great devotee of Krishna. And so he requested Indra to let Kayadhu go, and Indra let her go, and Narad Muni took her to his ashram. And by Narad Muni's spiritual potency, Kayadhu did not give birth to the child till Hiranyakashipu came back, because Narad Muni anticipated that there may be some scandals if the child is born in the ashram. So, and when Kayadhu was in his ashram, Narad Muni used to regularly instruct her on the topics of Krishna consciousness and the philosophy of Krishna. And Prahlada Maharaj, sitting in the womb of his mother, used to listen. And as a result of that, Prahlada Maharaj became a great devotee even before his birth. And then Hiranyakashipu came back after receiving the boon from Brahma, and he almost became immortal. And then Kayadhu went back to the palace, and Prahlad was born. And when Prahlad was of the age to go to Gurukul, so this is the Vedic custom that the son of a Brahmana and the son of a Kshatriya used to be sent to the Guru's ashram for proper education. Although Prahlad was the son of a king, but he was sent to Guru's ashram. So who was the Guru of the Daityas? Sukracharya. And Prahlad was kept under the custody of Sukracharya's son, Shanda and Amarka. So, and they started to educate Prahlad with all kinds of materialistic subjects. Mainly, the subjects were like Arthaniti, Kutniti, Rajniti, diplomacy, economics, etc. And like it's a vast subject actually. There is a subject in the Vedas called Rajniti, or in simple words it will be politics. And all the descriptions have been given, like what kind of person should be appointed as a minister, what kind of person must be appointed as a general, and how should the king behave towards his citizens, how the king should behave towards the enemy. Like, it's a very detailed subject, and the sons of the Kshatriyas used to master those subjects. So Prahlad was supposed to master those subjects in the ashram of the Guru, and then after a while he was brought to his father by his Guru, and then the father asked, "So Prahlad, what did you learn in the school? Tell me, what did you learn?" And then Prahlad said that the only thing that I learned, he asked Prahlad, what did you consider to be the most important thing to learn? And Prahlad replied that the most important thing to learn is that Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the business of every living entity is to become his servant, become submissive. So then Hiranyakashipu became very annoyed. He said, he started to chastise the bully. What happened? This is the kind of education you're giving him? You're teaching him to praise my enemy? And Hiranyakashipu became very inimical to Vishnu because Vishnu killed his brother. What's the name of Hiranyakashipu's brother? Hiranyaksha. And Vishnu came as Varahadev to kill Hiranyaksha. So he was looking for Vishnu to kill him. But he couldn't find Vishnu anywhere. Then he was told that Vishnu is actually hiding in the heart of every living entity. So Hiranyakashipu became frustrated. He said that, see, what a coward he is. Out of my fear, he is hiding in the hearts of the living entities. And so he became very annoyed when he saw that his son started to glorify Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu then chastised the teachers, and the teachers said, no, we did not teach him this. We have been teaching him all the subjects that have been prescribed, but I don't know where he learned it from. Then Hiranyakashipu asked, where did you learn this from? So he said, Prahlad replied, that the one who is situated in everyone's heart, he actually gives the knowledge. So Vishnu himself gave the knowledge about himself. Otherwise, how can anybody ever get to know? So in this way, so Hiranyakashipu became very annoyed. So he chastised the teachers, and he actually, and Prahlad, so Hiranyakashipu told Prahlad, that Prahlad, give up your misconception. Then Prahlad refused. He, in a very simple way, in a very innocent way, he said it's impossible to give up Vishnu. He is the supreme shelter of everything. He is the supreme creator and he is the supreme shelter. So how can anyone ever give up Vishnu? So it's a foolhardy, it's a sheer folly to even try to give up Vishnu. Then Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill this child. So he told the demon that you kill this child. Then the demon army attacked Prahlad. And actually very detailed description of Prahlada Maharaj's incident has been given in Vishnu Purana. So it is said that when the demons attacked, Prahlad's reply was that I am not seeing you anything different from Vishnu. And although you are attacking me, and also your weapons are also non-different from Vishnu. And because Prahlad saw Vishnu everywhere, so their weapons could not do anything. And Prahlad didn't feel any pain. And in this way, Hiranyakashipu tried to kill the son. But then Hiranyakashipu asked the snakes, the poisonous snakes, like Ilapaksha, Taksha, etc. There's a huge, gigantic snake to come and bite Prahlad and finish him. But the snakes, in spite of biting Prahlad, couldn't do anything, and they actually appealed to Hiranyakashipu. You see, Hiranyakashipu was the controller of the three worlds, so all these living entities were under his domination, under his rule. So the snake said that our teeth are falling apart, and our gems, our jewels in the head are cracking. But still we can't do anything to the sun, to the sun of the earth. And then Hiranyakashipu called the Diggajas. There are elephants that are actually protecting the 10 directions. And they're huge, mountainous elephants. So Hiranyakashipu asked the elephants to charge Prahlad and kill him. And the elephants immediately charged all of them and tried to kill Prahlad. And Prahlad was gored by their teeth. But nothing happened to Prahlad, but instead all their tusks broke. So in this way, in whichever way Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad, he was not successful. His endeavor failed. Then he asked his men to light a fire. And so they covered Prahlad by a fire, a huge fire, wooden fire. And then they then they lit the fire. But Prahlad replied that these flames of this huge fire to me is appearing to be like the soothing touch of the lotus petal. So by Krishna's mercy, Prahlad was saved time and time again. And then the Brahmanas, the gurus of Prahlad, consoled Hiranyakashipu and told him that let us take him back to the ashram and we will give him the right training. And if it doesn't work, then we will make arrangements to kill him by some kind of magical mantra. You see, the Brahmanas had the power to use some mantra, and with that, and through the mantra, they could create a weapon made of fire that's something like a thunderbolt. So they assured that if it doesn't work, then they would try to kill Prahlad in that. And then after a while, Hiranyakashipu called Prahlad and asked. So Prahlad again replied that Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of God. So Hiranyakashipu became very angry. So he told that let this sun be finished. And he told the cook to give halahal, the poison that came from churning the milk ocean. Which is true. But Prahlad, after eating halahal, he digested it. So the cooks were very afraid and very surprised. And they reported to Hiranyakashipu. Then the teachers said, okay, the Brahmanas said, we will arrange to kill him. So they made this sacrifice, and as a result of that sacrifice, a thunder-like weapon came out of it, sacrificial fire, and hit Prahlad in his chest. But the weapon broke into pieces. And not only that, because the weapon was used upon a sinless person like Prahlad, the weapon actually went back to the Brahmanas and finished them. Then Hiranyakashipu tried to throw Prahlad from the top of the mountain. He tried to kill Prahlad by throwing him in the sea, ocean, and then covering him up with the mountain. They carried the mountains and covered him. But still Prahlad very easily shoved the mountains aside and came out of the water. So in this way, Hiranyakashipu was completely frustrated. So then he asked, what is there? Why I cannot kill you? Where did you get this power? And Prahlad said that I got this power from the same source where everybody gets. Even you, where you got the power, I got the power from him. So then Hiranyakashipu asked, then where is the Vishnu? And Prahlad said, he's everywhere. Then Hiranyakashipu asked, did you say he's everywhere even in the street? And he said yes. And then Hiranyakashipu roared like a lion, pounced on the pillar, pulled out his sword and broke the pillar. Let me see, where is that Vishnu? And then Nrsimhadev came out and he killed Hiranyakashipu. They fought for a long time. I'm not 100% sure, but most probably Nrsimhadev came out of the pillar at noontime and he fought throughout the day with him, and then in the evening at the time of twilight he killed. So in this way we can see like how great a devotee Prahlada Maharaj was. And that's what Shiva pointed out, that he is the greatest of devotees because Vishnu protected him all the time and he never ever forgot. So that is the glory of Prahlada Maharaj. And his position is even higher, even greater than the residents of Vrindavan. But when Narad Muni went to Prahlada Maharaj, he saw that Prahlad was meditating on Vishnu in Sutala Loka. And then in his trance, he could see that Narad Muni was coming. So he got up and greeted him. And Narad Muni started to glorify him. But Prahlada Maharaj refused to accept that glorification. And he gave various reasons why he was not a great devotee. These points are there. I would ask you to go through these points. And if you have any questions or clarification, if you need any clarification, then later on you can ask me. Because the chapters are going to go bigger and bigger now. So, one main point that Prahlada Maharaj gave, that he was not such a great devotee, because he said that he was simply meditating upon the Supreme Personality. He simply meditates upon the Lord. But devotion actually is a matter of service. So he doesn't render any service. Therefore, he cannot be considered as a great devotee of the Lord. Because he sits down and meditates, but he doesn't render service. Therefore, he admitted that he was not even a devotee. In a very humble way, he admitted that he was not even a devotee. But then he pointed out to Hanuman. He said the real devotee actually is Hanuman, because he rendered so many services to Lord Rama. Now let us consider the position of Hanuman. Okay. No, I mean, when did I say? Oh, I said Brihad. Oh, no. Anyway, he said that he renders service to Lord Ramchandra. Therefore, his position is greater than Prahlada. Because Prahlada Maharaj doesn't get involved in active service. So, then he approached. And now let us consider why Hanuman's position is so great. You see, Hanuman, he was a very special personality. He was born of Vayu and the queen of the monkeys. The name of the king of the monkeys is Keshari monkey. And Keshari's wife was Anjana. And Anjana was extremely beautiful, so beautiful that one day Vayu, the god of air, Pavandev, became attracted by her. And he embraced her. So Anjana became very annoyed. He said that, why did you touch me? Why did you contaminate me? So Pavandev then said, Vayu said, no, I actually touched you in the mind. There was no physical contact. But as a result of my embrace, you will be gifted with a son who will be as powerful as I am, and who will be able to move with the speed of air. And he will be extremely powerful. So after Anjana gave birth to Hanuman, she went to the forest. She gave birth to Hanuman in a mountain cave, and she went to the forest to pick some fruits. But Hanuman, the newborn baby, he started to feel hungry. So at that time he saw the sun was rising on the eastern horizon. And seeing the big red disk of the sun, he mistook it to be a fruit. And he jumped to reach the sun. But at that time, Vayu became cool to give him protection. And sun also seeing him as a child did not burn him. So, but at that time, Rahu was about to swallow the sun. So he saw Rahu on the chariot of the sun. So Hanuman mistook Rahu to be a fruit, and he wanted to eat him. So then Rahu, being afraid, he went to Indra for shelter, for protection. So Indra came to give him shelter and give him protection, riding on his Airavat. So when he stopped Hanuman, so Hanuman thought that the elephant that in the Airavat was the fruit. So he wanted to eat that. So then Indra, to save Airavat, he used the thunderbolt. And the thunder hit Hanuman on his left eye. And he fell down. But from that great height. But Vayu, being affectionate towards his son, carried his son into a cave and tried to treat him. But at that time, due to Vayu's disappearance, the whole world became devoid of air, and everyone was suffocating. So all the demigods approached Brahma and said, look, the creation is coming to an end. What should we do? So then Brahma said, okay, let's go. So Brahma arrived in the mountain cave and he revived the sun. And he got back his life and his broken thigh was joined. And Indra gave him a name. He said that since his thigh was broken by Vajra, his name would be Hanuman. Hanu means thigh, and Man means one who has. And Indra also gave him the benediction that he will never die out of thunderbolt. Thunderbolt won't be able to do anything. And then Surya, sun, gave Hanuman 100 part of his energy. Then Brahma gave him the benediction that no Brahma Shap, the curse of a Brahmana, will affect Hanuman. So in this way, getting all these benedictions, Hanuman became very powerful. Not only he regained his life, but he became extremely powerful. But after all, he's a monkey. So he started to create a lot of disturbance in the forest. And the sages who were in the forest performing sacrifices became very annoyed with Hanuman. And they gave him a curse that he will forget about his potency, he will forget about his power. But then this curse had a condition that if somebody ever reminds him of his power, then he will gain the power. So, and for a long time, Hanuman actually was oblivious of his power. But when Ramchandra was searching for Sita, and Shampati, and the brother of Jatayu, bird, you remember Jatayu? On the way to Lanka, there was a very big demon called Singhika. So Singhika used to catch the shadow of a passing by living entity and eat that. She used to live in the ocean, and this is how she used to survive. Any animal, any living entity that would fly across and cast his shadow, Singhika would catch the shadow and attract the living entity. So Hanuman, all of a sudden, he felt that his journey to Lanka is stopped. He's not flying anymore. He stopped all of a sudden. So then Hanuman realized that, and he was drawn to Singhika. So Hanuman had the power to expand himself into an unlimited shape. Or he could also contract himself into a very tiny body. So Hanuman first expanded his body, and Singhika also became bigger and bigger and bigger to swallow him. So in this way, then Hanuman became very small and entered into Singhika's mouth. And then, with his nails, he pierced open Singhika's heart and came out, killed her and came out of her. And then he went to Lanka. And in Lanka, he became very small because they were guarding the gate of Lanka. So Hanuman became like a mouse, small as a little mouse, and he entered into Lanka. He went to Sita Devi and gave his identity. Ramchandra actually gave Hanuman his ring. So at first, Sita Devi didn't believe Hanuman. He thought this was another Maya of Ravana. So, but when Hanuman showed her the ring of Lord Ramchandra, then she believed. And Hanuman could actually carry Sita back to Lanka, but Sita refused because she couldn't touch anybody else besides Lord Ram. And so then Hanuman consoled her, saying that don't worry, Ramchandra will come back and he will rescue you. We just wanted to find out that you are here. And then Sita expressed some doubt whether that will be possible. And because Ram is in the forest and Ravan is so powerful, and also such a great distance to cover, so how Ramchandra will be able to rescue? So in order to prove his prowess, Hanuman broke that forest. And it was a very dear garden of Ravana. So he started to destroy that forest, Ashok. It's a manicured forest. So then Ravan, when he got the news that a monkey was breaking his forest, breaking his garden, so he sent his army. And Hanuman, one after another, killed 5 of Ravan's soldiers with the full army. And then finally Ravan sent his son Akshay. And Hanuman killed him off. And then Ravan sent Indrajit. And Indrajit used Brahmastra upon Hanuman and tied him with a rope. And Hanuman accepted that difficulty, accepted the torture just to see Ravan and teach him a lesson. So when he was taken to Ravan, he started to blast Ravan for his heinous deeds. So Ravan got so angry that he wanted to kill. But Vibhishan intervened and stopped Ravan from killing Hanuman. But then Ravan decided that let the monkey burn itself. So he tied a cloth in his tail and put gasoline or inflammable substance and lit fire and let Hanuman go. But Hanuman, he just jumped from one room to another, one palace to another, and this way he burnt out the whole Lanka. So then the fire could not do anything to Hanuman because the Sita was trained the fire god. And due to Sita's prayer, the fire didn't touch Hanuman. And then finally Sita gave Hanuman the jewel from his head, from a crown, as a token to show Ramchandra. And then Hanuman went back to Lord Ramchandra and he rendered great service to Lord Ramchandra during the battle. During his battle with Ravan. He killed many big generals of Ravan. He carried Lakshman on his back to kill Indrajit. When it was time to kill Indrajit, Hanuman actually carried him on his back. You know the story of Indrajit? Indrajit was Ravan's son, who had the power to hide behind the cloud. Therefore another name of Indrajit was Meghnad. Megh means cloud. He could hide behind the cloud and fight. No one could see him. And when Indrajit had weapons in his hand, it would have been practically impossible to kill him. So Vibhishan actually told Ramchandra that it's impossible to kill Indrajit. The only time he can be killed is that when he goes to worship in the temple. Then he will be unarmed. So Hanuman actually carried Lakshman, and Lakshman killed Indrajit in the temple. This temple, of course, is not Vishnu temple, the Devi temple. These demons, they worship Devi or Shiva or different demigods. Not even demigods, Devi and Shiva. And when Ravan used Shakti Shell on Lakshman, and Lakshman actually was unconscious and he was dying, Shushen, the physician, prescribed that if they could get Vishwanda Karuna, herb from Gandhamadan mountain, and then he could revive the blood. But the medicine must be brought before sunrise. So now Gandhamadan mountain is far, far away, and how to bring that herb? Who can bring it? The only person who could actually go and get it was Hanuman. So Hanuman was told how Vishalakarni looks like and where he could find it. But when he went there, he saw that he could really figure out which one is Vishalakarni. That herb. So he didn't want to take any chance. So he carried the whole mountain and brought it to Lanka. And this way Lakshman was revived. So in this way Hanuman rendered various service to Lord Rama. And when Narad went to Hanuman, he saw that Hanuman was singing the glory of the Lord, and the tears were streaming down his eyes. And he asked Hanuman, then he started to glorify him, that he was so great. He was the greatest recipient. And then Hanuman started to give the reason that he was not a great devotee. He couldn't even become a devotee. He didn't receive any mercy of the Lord. If the Lord was so merciful unto him, then why did he disappear? Why doesn't he give him the darshan and why is he suffering from his separation? And then he pointed out that actually the Pandavas are the greatest devotees. Because the Lord is always with the Pandavas. And in Hastinapur, he's still with the Pandavas. And then Narad said, okay, then let's go. Let's go and see the Lord. But Hanuman refused because he was afraid to commit offense. Because he felt that the relationship that the Lord has with the Pandavas was quite different from the relationship he had with Lord. Because Hanuman's relationship with Ramchandra is in Aishwarya. Actually, Lord Ramchandra is Maryada Purusha. He came to establish the proper understanding of the Supreme Personality. Whereas with the Pandavas, he was son. So Hanuman refused to go, but Narad went to see the Lord, see the Pandavas. As I said, that he didn't want to go because he was afraid of committing offense. Because his relationship with Ramchandra and the way Krishna is dealing with the Pandavas and his associates in Dwarka is different. Yeah, Ajodhya pastime was over. Lord Ramchandra packed up his pastime in that way.
You know that when the Ram is separated from Krishna, that Krishna is so present. And why is it that, because the feeling of integration, open memory after where the Charan is reading it, they feel separation also. So what is different about Hanuman separation? That we saw that at the time that he got separated
Although the gopis are separated from Krishna, but the gopis in their intense absorption of Krishna, sometimes see that Krishna is there with them. It's actually Krishna, first of all, Krishna doesn't leave them. Krishna is always in them. Actually, when the gopis don't see him, he hides behind some bush. And then Krishna comes out of the bush sometimes. Actually, in Vidarbha Madhav, there is a very nice example or very nice incident to clarify that point. Radhika, Srimati Radharani, was feeling intense separation from Krishna. She actually, and then she had Lalita painted a picture of Krishna. And Radharani started to see the painting. And she felt that Krishna was actually coming out of the painting, came out of the painting and was addressing her and reciprocating with her. But then she realized that it was her it was her mental illusion. So then she decided that she won't be able to survive without Krishna. So better that she gives up her body. Because if she commits suicide, then at least she'll be relieved from this anguish. So she, meditating on Krishna, she wanted to give up her body. But at that time, Krishna came and stood in front of her. Then she started to meditate, and at one point when she opened her eyes, she saw Krishna there. And she started thinking that this was a projection of a meditation. It was not real Krishna. So actually the gopis in Vrindavan, especially Srimati Radharani and the principal gopis, they can't really figure out, whether they are associating with Krishna or they're separated.
This is with the relationship now of devotional service. I know the famous picture of Hanuman showing his heart,
Yeah.
So, but even when he separated from Rama, I always assume that he would have some kind of association there.
You see, seeing the Lord in the heart and reciprocating with the Lord in reality is not. The Hanuman's thing was kind of meditation. But with Krishna, with the gopis in Vrindavan, Krishna was actually directly reciprocating. Because when the meditation breaks, then that's the thing with the Shankara. When the meditation breaks, then they are, separated from him. But the gopis in separation associated. And it is said Vipralamba is actually more intense. The union, the absorption of Krishna in separation is even more intense than direct. Never suffer from separation. Well, one can say that they don't suffer as the gopis, because they are not so much absorbed in Krishna as the gopis. Because the gopis, they are, say for example, somebody leaves, right? Those who are very close to him feel the pain for a long time. But those who are not so close, they feel the pain for the time being. But then they become absorbed in various activities. But they do miss Krishna. They do. When they go to the forest, they miss. But again, the men's heart is stronger than the women's. Their emotions are more controlled. No, well, in that way, Bhakta is more intense. Yes.
Maharaj, before Prahlada, when Prahlada was in his mother, he was Prahlada was included by the other demigods. And I had already said he was a great devotee. But I always heard that because he started teaching
Yeah. The thing is that one may be a great devotee, but one needs a spiritual master. Without the spiritual master teaching, the transcendental knowledge doesn't reveal in the heart. It may be there, but it doesn't fully manifest. So therefore, there's a need for Narayana to give meaning.
It's a thing that I've seen on occasions where Radha and Krishna are looking at the day together. Is there anything behind that? Is that like a little friend with a story behind that? Because Radha and Krishna are holding a mirror, they're looking at each other in the mirror together.
There's so many pastimes of Krishna. I can't really think of any such pastime. But there must be.
Or an event that happens in Prahlada Maharaj. There's a big celebration that the Indian community has all over the world for Holi. I heard this is in relationship to Prahlada Maharaj.
Holi? No. It has nothing to do with Prahlada Maharaj. At least not that I know. You see, the Holi festival is is a pastime of Krishna in Vrindavan called Phagua. In the full moon of the month of Falgun, Krishna plays with color. So that is holy, and that on that day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. When Krishna was making the whole Vrindavan colorful with the mellows of Krishna consciousness, at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to distribute that mellow all over the world. So, okay, last two questions, good occasion, and then.
And someone told me that this is the Shivin issue of the whole. And then the thing with the three festival was like on the platform. And then somebody else started to remember the fact that it was a big bully. Going colors.
Well, Janava Mata and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pure devotees could have indulged in holy in the mood of Vrindavan, but that doesn't give us the permission to enact the same law. Our mood is different. These are all very intimate pastimes of Krishna. We simply from a distance offer worship.
Prahlada Maharaj's mother also became a devotee.
Yeah. She didn't have the chance. When you have such a demoniac husband, hard to the person.
When Prabhupada was trying to get some going to
What's that?
when Prabhupada was trying to determine, where one is the margin of the working, and the question of Srila came up, where it actually is, whether that one that we know is also on the front is another place, but whatever.
You see, we still have the Setu Bandha, the bridge that was built. Part of the land goes into the ocean towards Lanka. Down the Lanka. That's the general understanding. I don't remember what Prabhupada said about that.
I remember some of the things, and one of the things that came out of the research was that actually Lanka is a Christian journey, and the Lanka of that time is not so close to us. He just only had a church that human beings were always coming there, so it was protected by high wind. Another curious thing is that when I was in Lanka, I didn't see a single Lanka anywhere.
Yeah, because Vibhishana was carrying the deity of Ramchandra, a deity of the Lord, Ramchandra's deity. But the condition was that if he stopped, then the deity won't move. So he stopped in Sri Rangam, and the deity refused to move.
One other point that I heard was when Ram was coming back with Sita on the Vimana, and then he pointed out, here's things with the block of today. And so
we discuss later because next class is